Hey everyone, welcome to our little show that we have today. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ashley Kehr, and I am here with Riley McFarland, my contractor for my recent flip. And if you guys have gone back and checked out our other YouTube videos, you can follow along the process of this flip. So this is the third flip that I've ever done. The first two, I was pretty much a passive partner with somebody else and just brought the capital. But this was my first flip on my own without the guidance of James Daynard. So Riley definitely helped me along the way, and we're going to talk about that flip today. And also, at the same time, Riley did his own flip. So we'll talk a little more about the comparison of the two and the final outcome. So Riley, tell me about your flip.
All right, yeah, so we did, so actually, when I got my start, I was doing flips. Mm-hmm. That's where I started my contracting business. That was over 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the market in Buffalo has changed so dramatically. It kind of went from like a flippers market to not a flippers market. And now with the increases in prices, it's back to making sense with the margins to get on flips again. Mm-hmm. So I did a flip in Williamsville, which is a suburb of Buffalo. It's a very desirable suburb of Buffalo. And I did that with an investor who put up the capital for it. And I actually got it from another investor friend who had the mortgage on it. He foreclosed on the house, and then he approached me and he's like, I don't want this house. Yeah. It was 1980s glam. I mean, it was like mirrors everywhere, electric blue carpet. It was just super ugly. Yeah. But the house itself, had several additions on it. The total square footage, if you count the finished basements, was 4,200 square feet.
So pretty big.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was 3 full baths, 3.5 baths. 4 bedrooms, which 4 bedrooms is also very rare. Mm-hmm. So it would be a very desirable house for a large family, which is who we ended up selling it to. Yeah. We were in that, we basically closed the same time you closed on yours. And I was like freaking out a little bit. I was like, do we have enough manpower to do both at the same time? But we got it done. Good time
and they
frame.
Were actually pretty close to each other
that
too,
was,
so
that was
huge.
Convenient. Yeah, because driving back and forth to each job site, I think it was less than 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, that makes it more manageable. Yeah. We actually are signing the paperwork on it today, and
to close on it. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, so we actually made a really nice profit. I'm
and
happy about
that's
it.
What everybody wants to know. So let's break down that deal real quick. So what was the purchase price?
So we got it for $320.
Okay, and how much did you put in rehab?
The total I think was around $87,000.
Okay.
So we did a nice high-end kitchen. The primary suite, we did like a very nice.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. Really nice like spa bathroom. It's got a soaking tub. Yeah. If you look at my Instagram, there's a couple reels and photos of it, so you can go check that out. But I wanted to make it kind of like an oasis, the primary, for whoever was going to buy the house, because it was an expensive sale price. So I wanted the owners to be like, okay, this is our little retreat, and then the kids can destroy the rest of the house. So total all in, I think we were about $410 with the purchase price, with the realtor commissions out of that, which were kind of high, but you know, you gotta pay the realtors to do their job. And the total that we made profit was about $104,000.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you bought this property in May, right? Closed on it in May?
Yes. Yeah, around then.
May. Yep. And then you are closing today.
Today, signing the paperwork. So.
Not bad to make $104,000.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That's awesome. So my deal definitely did not make that much, but it was the same time frame. Mm-hmm. Riley was the contractor on this job. I think one thing to highlight too in your deal before we go to mine is how much you saved putting in sweat equity. Oh. Like having that advantage of being a contractor. What do you think that saved you?
So that's where I'm able to actually make that money. Because if I were to go in and do that for a client, that probably would have been the labor cost, right? So they would have, if they wanted to buy it and live in it, it would have made sense. They would have got their money back in the appraised value. But if they were flipping it, the margins would be tiny, right? So that's where I was able to save the money, and that's how I am able to keep making the money to do the next project.
And I think too, it's not like you were there every single day working on this, where it's like, okay, $104,000 over 6 months. Like, okay, that's great. But you were actually able to bring in subs also.
Yep.
You have a handyman that works for you, and you were doing other jobs.
Oh, yeah.
So you were making more money too
Oh, yeah.
as this was happening.
Yep.
And I think that's incredible.
Yeah, I was basically doing like 4 projects at once.
Yeah.
So I was doing mine, yours. I have a triplex that I'm renovating, and then I was doing a job for a homeowner too.
Yeah.
So that's 4 income streams plus
Yeah.
my rental income from my
Right.
portfolio. So it's like, it was kind of hectic, you know. I spend a lot of time in the truck driving from job site to job site, making sure nothing's going
Yeah.
wrong, making sure the guys are doing what they need to do, quality control. So yeah, I mean, when you do look at that, like nice healthy profit, but then I also had multiple things going at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
So for my deal, I have to say that it was really passive because of Riley. I barely had to come out to the house. It was really just to record these YouTube videos for you guys. Riley would text me with updates. If I needed to go and get something, send me reminders like, hey, still waiting on that tile. You want to get picked out? He would, if I sent him what I wanted, he would even run to the store and go and get it. So I depended a lot on you for this project, which made it probably the most passive investment I've done in a long time besides my other flips. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate it too, and that's why I like working with investors.
Yeah.
Especially like in your case, like you said, you weren't there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to not have that, like, you know, like the homeowner looming
Yeah.
over you and checking in on you
Yeah.
every day, or be
Yeah.
like, how come this isn't getting done at this time and this? And it's like, well, there's a process, and I'm moving along at a good pace.
Yeah.
And it was nice too, because you gave me the freedom to kind of make my own choices.
Yeah.
And be like,
Like the light fixtures.
Yeah.
It wasn't a house that it needed really nice light fixtures or
Yeah.
anything. It was a starter home, and you did a great job picking out
yeah.
the light fixtures.
Or
Yeah.
just like even taking the suggestions that I gave you.
Oh,
like,
yeah, the
you know,
pocket door.
Yeah, the pocket door, or like the flooring in the basement. You know, I was like, I think we can do it for cheaper. It's
Yeah.
going to look really good. So it's nice when an investor relies on me, but also takes my advice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because, you know, I'm only trying to help you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to hurt you in any way. I'm
Yeah.
not, you know, some contractors might want to upcharge you and do things that are not necessary, but that's not how I operate.
Yeah.
It's like, if you make a good profit on it, you're going to want to do it again.
So let's get into the numbers of mine. So I bought it for $171,000, and I did a hard money loan for a private money loan for the full purchase price, and I'll owe about $172,000 back when we close on the property, which is next Tuesday. So almost the same
Congrats.
timeline as yours. So $172,000. We put about $54,000 into the property, and we sold it for $300,000. It was $20,000 over asking. I got our closing statement, and basically I'm getting like the profit after the closing costs and the realtor costs, all the survey fees, whatever, all of that was about $20,000. So it showed that I was getting $280,000 and then the $172,000 back to the private money lender, and then that $54,000 taken out. And Riley did the math for me real quick because I haven't even calculated it. So before we recorded this, so if it's wrong, blame him. But coming out to about $54,000 for a profit.
Yeah, it's
Which
nice.
is, for
Especially being hands off.
Yeah,
and
hands off. That I did too
showing
much.
up, what, 5 times maybe?
You know what? My son is sitting out there in the other room. He's probably listening to this. He's probably like, no, I remember going to Lowe's, Home Depot because you couldn't decide on tile, Mom, doing 20 trips to there.
Yeah,
But
that was the only holdup.
that
I
was
think.
really it,
You're
me
just-
holding it up, trying to pick out tile.
I was like, Ashley, I need the tile
Yeah.
choices. Like, I need to know what I'm putting in.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, yeah, I don't think there was really any huge hiccups that we
Yeah.
came up across.
I would say like the biggest hiccup I'm having right now is with closing. So it came up, we were supposed to close actually tomorrow, and it came up that to close on the property, you have to have a sump pump inspection on the property. So we're still trying to find out why that didn't happen when I purchased the property 6 months ago. And nobody seems to be taking responsibility for that as to why we were even allowed to close on the property without having that inspection in place. So we're a little bit delayed now. Friday we're having, you have to have the plumbing inspector come and the electrical inspector come to do that inspection, and then they sign off on it. So we had to delay closing a couple days. But originally, when I called to schedule the inspection, they told me there was nothing available for another 3 weeks. So when you were talking about the high cost of the real estate agent fees, like, my fees are worth it if we can close now instead of 3 weeks later, because my agent made a bunch of phone calls and she got somebody to come in sooner. So, but then Riley also told me that he could have done that for me too. I just didn't ask.
She just made a phone call.
And like the whole lesson I've learned in this is the power of working with people who have those connections that are in that network. So if you're buying a flip, and especially a new market, like, I don't know anything about this market besides the the analysis I did beforehand as to the comps, things like that, what I could sell this property for. And knowing little things like that, I would have thought you would have had to have a sump pump inspection. Like, I've never come across that. And I've learned, like, that's probably something the paralegal that was doing my closing should have brought up. We shouldn't have been allowed to even transfer title without that inspection being in place. So I think using contractors, agents, loan officers that have those connections in the area that you are doing a flip can be so beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. And you just alluded to it. Like you said, the contractor helping you through those issues. Especially since I have a good relationship with a lot of the building departments in the area. I'm licensed in all the municipalities. I have the main code enforcer. I have his cell phone number. So, like, if it came up, I could have just, like, texted him and be like, hey, man, we're trying to close this. Could you help me out? I can meet you there, whatever.
Which I will do if they don't come tomorrow.
No, I'll help you out. But yeah, even, like I said earlier, the on my end too, the realtor commissions are substantial. But the amount of work that my agent put in to the open houses, dealing with the multiple offers, marketing it, it's totally worth it. He was actually, we had 3 competing offers, and he was actually able to talk the buyer who ended up buying it. He was able to talk him into, instead of an escalation clause, just to go to the full asking price or the full offer price. And that way he's like, you don't have to go back and forth. He's like, if you want the house, let's just go with that price. And that actually ended up with a higher sale price than they were originally wanting to go to. So that was, I mean, that's worth it in the long run. So industry professionals, you pay them what they're worth.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us to wrap up our flips. Hopefully you guys took away a couple lessons, learned some things, and got to see the insights into what it takes to flip a house. Make sure you go back and check out our other videos on my YouTube at Wealth from Rentals. Thank you guys so much. I'm Ashley, and you can find me at Wealth from Rentals on any social media, and also on the Bigger Pockets Real Estate Rookie podcast. And Riley
McFarland, McFarland Enterprises on Instagram.
Okay. We'll see you guys next time.